What is the largest organ in the human body? The skin. How many bones are in the adult human body? 206 bones. What is the smallest bone in the human body? The stapes in the ear. What is the longest bone in the human body? The femur. Thigh bone. What is the structural and functional unit of life? The cell. What is the main function of red blood cells? To carry oxygen. Where is the humerus bone located? In the upper arm. What is the scientific term for the collarbone? Clavicle. What part of the body contains the most bones? The hands. 27 bones each. What is the only bone in the body not connected to another bone? The hyoid bone. Respiratory system. What is the primary organ of the respiratory system? The lungs. What is the function of alveoli? Gas exchange. Oxygen and carbon dioxide. What muscle helps in breathing by moving up and down? The diaphragm. What is the voice box also called? The larynx. What is the windpipe scientifically called? The trachea. How many lobes does the right lung have? 3 lobes. How many lobes does the left lung have? 2 lobes. What is the term for inflammation of the lungs? Pneumonia. What gas do humans exhale? Carbon dioxide. Which part of the brain controls breathing? The medulla oblongata. Cardiovascular system. What is the primary organ of the circulatory system? The heart. What is the largest artery in the body? The aorta. What are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart? Arteries. What blood vessels carry blood to the heart? Veins. What are the tiny blood vessels where exchange of substances occurs? Capillaries. What is the term for low blood pressure? Hypertension. What is the average resting heart rate for an adult? 60 to 100 beats per minute. What type of blood do pulmonary arteries carry? Deoxygenated blood. What type of blood do pulmonary veins carry? Oxygenated blood. What protein in red blood cells carries oxygen? Hemoglobin. Nervous system. What is the basic unit of the nervous system? The neuron. What part of the brain controls memory and learning? The cerebrum. What is the name of the protective covering of the brain and spinal cord? The meninges. What part of the nervous system controls involuntary actions? The autonomic nervous system. What is the function of the spinal cord? To transmit signals between the brain and the body. What is the largest part of the brain? The cerebrum. What part of the brain controls balance and coordination? The cerebellum. What are the gaps between neurons called? Synapses. What chemical messengers transmit signals in the nervous system? Neurotransmitters. What is the longest nerve in the body? The sciatic nerve. Digestive system. What is the main organ of the digestive system? The stomach. Where does digestion begin? In the mouth. What enzyme in saliva breaks down carbohydrates? Amylase. What is the longest part of the digestive tract? The small intestine. What organ produces bile? The liver. Where is bile stored? In the gallbladder. What is the main function of the large intestine? To absorb water. What is the muscular movement that pushes food through the digestive system? Peristalsis. What organ filters toxins from the blood? The liver. What is the medical term for chewing? Mastication. Skeletal system. What mineral is most abundant in bones? Calcium. What type of joint is the shoulder? A ball and socket joint. What type of joint connects the skull bones? Sutures. What is the soft tissue inside bones called? Bone marrow. What is the largest joint in the body? The knee joint. What condition involves loss of bone density? Osteoporosis. What is the scientific name for the kneecap? Patella. What is the function of cartilage? To provide cushioning and reduce friction in joints. How many ribs does the human body have? 12 pairs. 24 ribs. What bone protects the brain? The skull. Muscular system. What is the strongest muscle in the body by weight? The masseter. Jaw muscle. What type of muscle is found in the heart? Cardiac muscle. What type of muscle is under voluntary control? Skeletal muscle. What is the term for muscle wasting? Atrophy. What muscle helps in breathing? The diaphragm. What is the primary function of muscles? To produce movement. What connects muscles to bones? Tendons. What is the largest muscle in the body? The gluteus maximus. What are the tiny units in muscles that contract? Sarcomeres. What type of muscle lines organs like the stomach? Smooth muscle. Reproductive system. What is the primary male reproductive organ? The testes. What is the primary female reproductive organ? The ovaries. What is the process of releasing an egg from the ovary? Ovulation. What is the site of fertilization in the female body? The fallopian tubes. What is the medical term for childbirth? Parturition. What hormone is responsible for male secondary sexual characteristics? Testosterone. What hormone regulates the menstrual cycle? Estrogen. What is the term for the union of sperm and egg? Fertilization. What is the average duration of a human pregnancy? 40 weeks. What is the primary function of the uterus? To house and nourish a developing fetus. Endocrine system. What gland is known as the master gland? The pituitary gland. What hormone regulates blood sugar? Insulin. What gland produces adrenaline? The adrenal glands. What hormone controls metabolism? Thyroxine. What gland regulates calcium levels in the blood? The parathyroid glands. What hormone triggers the fight or flight response? Adrenaline. Epinephrine. What gland is located in the brain and regulates sleep? The pineal gland. What hormone is associated with growth? Growth hormone. GH. What organ has both endocrine and exocrine functions? The pancreas. What hormone is responsible for milk production? Prolactin. Miscellaneous. What is the normal body temperature in Celsius? 37 degrees Celsius. What is the primary function of the kidneys? To filter blood and produce urine. What is the largest internal organ? The liver. What is the function of the spleen? To filter blood and recycle red blood cells. What is the pH of human blood? 7.35 to 7.45. What part of the eye controls the amount of light entering? The iris. What is the term for the body's ability to maintain stable conditions? Homeostasis. What is the pigment that gives skin its color? Melanin. What is the average lifespan of a red blood cell? 120 days. What part of the ear is responsible for balance? The vestibular system. What is the scientific name for the jawbone? Mandible. Which organ has the ability to regenerate itself? Liver. What is the name of the largest cell in the human body? The ovum. Egg cell. What is the name of the smallest cell in the human body? Sperm cell. What type of tissue connects muscles to bones? Tendons. What is the outermost layer of the skin called? Epidermis. Which organ is responsible for producing tears? Lacrimal gland. How many teeth does an adult human normally have? 32 teeth. What is the scientific name for the breastbone? Sternum. What is the average lifespan of a white blood cell? A few hours to a few days. Respiratory system. What is the scientific name for the nostrils? Nares. What is the purpose of cilia in the respiratory tract? to trap dust and microorganisms. What is the flap of cartilage that prevents food from entering the windpipe? Epiglottis. What condition causes difficulty in breathing due to narrowed airways? Asthma. What is the scientific name for the air sacs in the lungs? Alveoli. What part of the respiratory system filters air as it enters? Nasal cavity. What disease is caused by long-term exposure to harmful particles in the air? Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. What condition is characterized by fluid in the lungs? Pulmonary edema. What is the main waste gas expelled by the lungs? Carbon dioxide. Which muscle aids in forced exhalation? Abdominal muscles. Cardiovascular system. What is the term for the rhythmic expansion of arteries during heartbeats? Pulse. What is the largest vein in the human body? Inferior vena cava. What is the heart's natural pacemaker called? Sinoatrial. SA. Node. What is the medical term for a heart attack? Myocardial infarction. What is the liquid portion of blood called? Plasma. What is the term for high blood pressure? Hypertension. What type of blood cell helps in clotting? Platelets. What is the term for the heart's lower chambers? Ventricles. What is the double-layered membrane around the heart called? Pericardium. What is the main function of white blood cells? To fight infections. Nervous system. What part of the brain controls body temperature? Hypothalamus. What is the insulating layer around neurons called? Myelin sheath. What is the term for a reflex that does not involve the brain? Spinal reflex. What is the part of the neuron that receives signals? Dendrites. What is the bundle of nerves at the base of the spine called? Cauda equina. What type of neurons carry signals from the body to the brain? Sensory neurons. What type of neurons carry signals from the brain to muscles? Motor neurons. What part of the nervous system prepares the body for fight or flight? Sympathetic nervous system. What part of the nervous system calms the body down? Parasympathetic nervous system. What is the gap between the myelin sheath segments called? Nodes of Ranvier. Digestive system. What is the first part of the small intestine called? Duodenum. What is the name of the valve between the stomach and small intestine? Pyloric sphincter. What is the function of villi in the small intestine? To absorb nutrients. What substance in the stomach helps digest proteins? Pepsin. What is the term for the elimination of solid waste? Defecation. What is the main function of the pancreas in digestion? To produce digestive enzymes. What part of the digestive system is responsible for absorbing vitamins and minerals? Small intestine. What is the ring of muscle at the end of the esophagus called? Lower esophageal sphincter. What is the medical term for indigestion? Dyspepsia. What condition is caused by acid backing up into the esophagus? Gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. Skeletal system. What are the bones of the fingers and toes called? Phalanges. What type of bone is the vertebrae classified as? Irregular bone. What part of the skeleton protects the spinal cord? Vertebral column. What is the term for soft spots on a baby's skull? Fontanelles. What is the scientific name for the shoulder blade? Scapula. What is the term for the process of bone formation? Ossification. What bone forms the lower jaw? Mandible. What is the heel bone called? Calcaneus. What condition causes the spine to curve abnormally? Scoliosis. What is the term for the joints between the skull bones? Sutures. Muscular system. What is the main muscle used for smiling? Zygomaticus major. What muscle is responsible for closing the jaw? Temporalis. What is the term for the thick band of connective tissue in the abdomen? Linea alba. What muscle group extends the knee? Quadriceps. What is the calf muscle called? Gastrocnemius. What is the term for muscle contraction without movement? Isometric contraction. What muscle rotates the head? Sternocleidomastoid. What muscle group is located at the front of the thigh? Quadriceps femoris. What is the primary muscle used in blinking? Orbicularis oculi. What is the term for increasing the angle of a joint? Extension. Reproductive system. What is the name of the tube that carries sperm out of the testes? Vas deferens. What is the term for the release of sperm from the body? Ejaculation. What is the outer part of the female reproductive system called? Vulva. What organ provides nutrients to the developing fetus? Placenta. What is the term for the first menstrual cycle? Menarche. What is the name of the male reproductive cell? Sperm. What is the name of the female reproductive cell? Ovum. What is the hormone responsible for milk ejection during breastfeeding? Oxytocin. What is the medical term for the cessation of menstruation? Menopause. What is the tube that connects the ovary to the uterus? Fallopian tube. Endocrine system. What is the hormone that regulates sleep cycles? Melatonin. What is the main hormone involved in stress response? Cortisol. What gland controls the release of hormones from other glands? Pituitary gland. What gland regulates the body's metabolic rate? Thyroid gland. What is the hormone that lowers blood sugar levels? Insulin. What is the opposite of insulin, which raises blood sugar levels? Glucagon. What hormone triggers ovulation? Luteinizing hormone, LH. What gland produces growth hormone? The pituitary gland. What is the condition caused by an underactive thyroid? Hypothyroidism. What is the condition caused by an overactive thyroid? Hyperthyroidism. Miscellaneous. What is the fluid that lubricates joints? Synovial fluid. What is the study of the structure of the body called? Anatomy. What is the study of body functions called? Physiology. What is the pigment in blood that carries oxygen? Hemoglobin. What condition causes yellowing of the skin and eyes? Jaundice. What is the medical term for sweating? Perspiration. What is the function of the spleen? To filter blood and remove old red blood cells. What is the process of cell division in body cells called? Mitosis. What is the process of producing egg cells called? Oogenesis. What is the term for water loss through skin and lungs? Insensible water loss.